Hi everyone, my name's Joanna Joy, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to do your own womb healing using your menstrual cycle, or if you don't have a menstrual cycle, how you can use the moon cycles to do womb healing for yourself. So firstly, I'd like to just describe to you how our wombs store emotional energy. And when I'm talking about our wombs, I am talking about our physical wombs, but I'm talking about also our energetic womb space, our spirit womb. Really, this is our whole womanhood, the aspect of ourself that is everything that we are as a woman. And through our experience as women, we encounter often negative experiences which can give rise to very unhelpful emotions. And in our culture, we are not taught how to deal with those very well. So we often end up storing them inside our wombs, inside our spirit wombs. And those emotions can range from fear to anger to betrayal or jealousy. All sorts of grief, all sorts of different unhelpful emotions we store in our spirit wombs, in our womb space. And this gives rise to all kinds of problems for us. We may experience menstrual problems, gynecological problems, emotional or mental ups and downs, instability, anxiety, depression, all these kind of things. And so by clearing out and healing our womb space, we help ourselves to feel so much better on every level, on physical levels, emotional, mental, and on spiritual levels. So I would encourage you to do some womb healing for yourself, because it's really quite easy. You just have to work out your little system for doing that. So I'm going to give you some guidance on how you can do that. So if you have a menstrual cycle, we'll start with the menstrual cycle first. You have a bleeding time and you have an ovulation time, which are roughly opposite ends of your month. So in a traditional woman's cycle, which is 29.5 days, which aligns exactly with the moon cycle, you would have your first bleeding day would be day 1, and then roughly round about halfway through your cycle, you would have an ovulation. And these two aspects of your menstrual cycle have two gifts for you, really. So your bleeding time is the opportunity for your body and your energy field to release anything that it does not want to release. Now, to make this fully effective, we need to do this with consciousness. Your body will release through your blood toxins, old blood cells and things like that. But if we do this work consciously, we can make it so much more powerful. And so I encourage women to create themselves some form of little ritual. It can be very simple, it doesn't have to be complicated. And when you have your ovulation time, this is the time that you can seed your intentions with your cycle. So ovulation time on a biological level is where you release an egg from one or other ovary. And this is really the seed of new life. It's the potential of new life. It's I like to call them dream seeds. And these eggs, these seeds of new life, have the potential to create amazing things. So you have this creative side of your menstrual cycle. And then on a biological level, if that egg is not fertilized and doesn't implant, then your womb lining releases when you bleed, and it's releasing the potential of that new life. And then the whole thing starts all over again. So you have within your menstrual cycle this dual function of both creating with your ovulation and releasing and clearing with your bleeding. And so we can use this pattern to do that work on an energetic level. So when you ovulate, you can set your intention for what you either want to create this month or for what you want to release. And then when you bleed, you are releasing that potential out into the world. So if you want to heal something, let's say you are carrying grief or sadness from a relationship breakup, and you know that you're carrying this pain and sadness within yourself, within your heart, within your womb. And so you can set an intention when you ovulate that all of that pain and that sadness and that grief is going to go into your blood that is accumulating in your womb. And then when you actually start bleeding, you can consciously release that blood, knowing and intending that all of that pain and that sadness from that relationship breakup is leaving you through your blood. Likewise, you can also use this cycle for creating and manifesting. So let's say you wanted to find the house of your dreams, and you would wait until you ovulate, and then at any time between ovulation and bleeding, you set the intention to find the house of your dreams, to create the house of your dreams, and make a list. What do you want in the house of your dreams? Do you want it to have a garden? How many bedrooms does it need? Do you want to have, a garage or off-road parking? What are the things that you want out of your dream house? Set the intention, and again, ritualize it. Ritual is very powerful for helping us to focus and intend what we want in our lives. So, some people have very unhelpful connotations around ritual. They think it has to be very religious, and it doesn't. Ritual is just a repeated pattern of doing things over and over again so that it puts you in the right frame of mind for you to focus and concentrate on something. So when you are doing your bleeding rites, your bleeding rituals, I invite you to create some kind of a pattern around it, create a ritual around it. For some people that might be lighting a candle and making a space, like an altar space where you can do that work. Or for others it might be going and doing it in the bath. Light some candles in the bath, put the bubble bath in, relax and do your intending there. You can make it as simple or as complex as you like, whatever is just right for you. So when you set your intention, either for releasing or creating, you can do this at any time between ovulation and your bleeding time. And then when you bleed, do another ritual to do that releasing with consciousness, with awareness. Now, some women like to, again, ritualize the release of their blood in specific ways. Some women like to give their blood back to the earth. Some women like to, a friend of mine, she likes to bleed into the river. And I live on a boat, so I also give my blood to the river, and I use cloth pads when I bleed. So I bleed my blood into the cloth pads, and then I soak them in the sink in cold water to get the blood out, and then that water goes straight into the river where I live. So I give my blood to the river. Some people like to feed it to their plants. Your plants like a bit of blood and bone, don't they? You can buy that at the plant centre. What do they call them? The garden centre. So yeah, if you're a gardener, if you've got green fingers, you can give your blood to your plants. So I encourage you to ritualize this process, this practice. And if you're giving your blood to the earth, some women like to put some seeds or even little seed crystals like Herkimer diamonds or clear quartz crystals in with their blood to amplify the intention, to add an extra layer of energy, an extra layer of power to your intending. Now, for many women, I'm sure you're probably thinking, listening to this and going, oh, whoa, this is all getting a bit woo for me. But do you know what? Woo has power. And I'm not asking you to believe in magic. I'm not asking you to believe in spiritual mumbo jumbo. All of this woo, what it really does is it helps you to focus. It helps you to focus. And really what we're connecting to is the power of the mind. It's the power of It's the power of your heart to listen to what your body needs, to check in with your womb, to find out what she is ready to release, to find out what she's ready to create. And it's the opportunity for your mind to focus on making that happen. Okay? It's been long proven in science that the mind has incredible power over the body. The placebo effect is not something to just laugh away. It's effective. What we choose to focus on and create with our mind has power over our bodies. So I encourage you to sit down and ask your womb what she's ready to let go of today. Make the sacred time and make the sacred space to give that gift to yourself. And if she says she's ready to let go of grief or anger, then intend that within your bleeding ritual. If she says she's ready to create a new career, or maybe a baby, or what else, a beautiful garden, you could create all sorts of different things, then you can set that intention anytime between ovulation and bleeding. Now, if you do not have a womb cycle, a menstrual cycle where you bleed, this might be because you're pregnant, it might be because you have gone through your menopause, it might be because you don't have a womb, it might be, what other reasons could there be? You might have had a hysterectomy. So if you don't have a menstrual cycle, then you can use the moon cycles instead. And the moon cycle aligns perfectly with our womb cycles. The moon has power over our womb, just as the moon has power over the oceans and the tides. And so for the full moon is traditionally aligned with ovulation, and the new moon is traditionally aligned with bleeding, your bleeding time. Some women have it the other way around. Some women bleed at at full moon and ovulate at new moon. And that's okay, you're just on a flip cycle, on a different cycle. But if you do not have a womb cycle, maybe in the past you had a menstrual cycle, and if you aligned with one or other of those, then you might know to align now with those moons. If you always used to bleed at new moon, and now you've gone through your menopause, then I would encourage you to do your releasing process again at new moon. Set your intention at full moon, and you're releasing at new moon. If you're not sure where you are, or maybe you're on hormonal contraception, which means that you don't have a menstrual cycle, then I would encourage you to watch your mood. Maybe chart your mood through 1, 2, or even 3 full moon cycles, and see if there are any peaks and troughs in your mood. If you're feeling particularly outward going and excited and creative, that would be when your natural ovulation time would be. If you're feeling like withdrawn and like you just want the world to go away, maybe a bit moody, maybe a bit irritable or tearful, I get quite cross and quite angry when I need that space, when I'm due to bleed, then that will be where you would normally be bleeding. So watch your mood, watch how your emotions are fluctuating through one full cycle of the moon, and that should give you an indication where your natural alignment would be. And then you can do your womb healing around the moon cycle instead of your womb cycle. I hope that's clear. I think I got a little bit, it sounded like it was getting a bit muddled partway through there. I hope I've explained that well so that you understand it. But if you would like to discuss this further, please do come and join my Facebook group, which is called Heal Your Womb. And there are lots of discussions that go on in the group, and you can ask for advice or clarity if my instructions weren't clear enough there. You can come and join the group and get involved. And I am also planning on writing some online courses so that you can do online healing work in your own time, in your own space. And the group is also a place for me to test out these techniques and practices with you guys so that you can do this work yourself. I'm a great believer in women empowering themselves with tools and knowledge And I know that these womb healing practices work because I've used them myself, and I know many other women who use them as well. And so, yeah, try it out. What have you got to lose? If you would like to contact me for any womb healing, I do womb healing with people face to face in Leeds in West Yorkshire, UK, and I also do distance womb healing. So you could be anywhere in the world and I could do healing work for you. If you feel like you need some personal one-to-one support with your healing journey, then you can contact me on my email address is jo@healyourwomb.love. My website isn't up and running for that site yet, but you can also have a look at my website, which is www.deephealing.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you on the group and hearing from you soon. Thanks, bye.